Lucky go over to Initiator. Let's see how it plays out as 100 Thieves on the defense side now with SEN come at them for the pistol.
Quickly, you can see Sentinels using that Tejo-guided salvo, the missile to insert Zekin into a ramp, and able to use that teleport just to get away, gather up with the rest of the squad who intend on hitting this B site.
Heavy pressure here towards B main. It was, of course, the stealth drone up mid. Xander can feel something's in the water. Here they come. Bang, jumping through the smoke. Xander a little bit low, and Zealous is going to clean him up round the corner. Flashpoint lights up, but Cryo still healthy. Has the armor to work with. Swing there with the classic. It's back and forth stuff. 2 up here for 100 Thieves, but look at Zekin and Zeus as low as you get. And Asuna will see that smoke dissipate in just a moment. We'll have to wait for SEN to show themselves. It's a plant here for the attackers, and Zekin rips him a new one.
All on to Boostio at the moment. Only the classic, still retaining his full HP when he started the round with Zekin solo on a jiggle. First tap, lovely.
Still 2 more to get through, though. Boostio looks like he forewent any armor. It's just a health pool to rely on. 1 flash left. Time of the essence. That barrel's going to show itself, and there goes Celsius. More to do. 1 more to get through for Boostio now. Gives it a tickle. John Cutie shows a little bit of leg and now tries to get away, but that's a shot to the rear end. He'd sooner forget. Pressure mounts. Boostio gets through him. But time not on his side. He'll have to walk away and let this one go through.
Just sadly take the consolation of SEN want to play this off over the wall with Zekin taking point. Just has the ghost and has to teleport away.
Okay, that was the eject button hit there for Zekin. Sentinels might pull out of the A site entirely now. 100 Thieves though, they're already reading this.
But it's just a fake from SEN. They want to cut noise. They want to keep 100 Thieves second guessing. And it's worked. 2 players. They left. Now they're coming back, and they might be back on time again, actually.
The double pump fake. Spotted out here, but it's still drone, but Zekin's out in the open. No gate crash opportunity there. This is going to get a little bit hot and heavy for Boostio, and eventually he'll be brought down. Arsena doesn't see anything and actually backs up. The timing really isn't on his side there as Zelsis hunts him down with the Bulldog.
They have to commit to this site, though, with the time getting low.
In they go. Pressure over towards Screens here. Xander goes low, and Cryo's going to hold the corner. Not bad, but not enough.
A rare, dominant 2-0. The last time these 2 teams met at the end of 2024, Bang dropped 31 kills in a map on SEN.
So they
and then they signed him, and then they gave him a blank check.
Dangerous, right? He's in trouble. Asuna pushes ahead of that. Great little defensive pop there from 100 Thieves. And
that is the kind of awesome play we're going to see with the comp that 100 Thieves have. If you just look at the utility down the line with these agents,
allows actually getting used. There's the guided salvos being thrown out here.
It's interesting because that smoke makes 100 Thieves, or should make them think that they're headed towards vent, but no, they're splitting B.
Yeah, Cryo though, is he going to be ready for it? Might be forced out of the action here for the time being, playing cannily back on this corner.
100 Thieves have the read. They are stacked up. They should win this out.
Here we go. Flash comes in. Arsena still trying to play around the Nebula. It's going to be Zekin that shows himself from upper. Now drops off the rafters. Arsena's going to see them come around the corner, and he cuts them down. 3 for Arsena now, 2 to work with for Sentinels, but time is getting short. It's just Zelsis. And he's going to pick up the pieces.
Oh, there's just no way. Cryo just needs to run at him and end this round right now, and he does. 100 Thieves first. Oh, Sentinels gathered up towards a second with a Bucky and the dimensional drift. Shades of old 10s Yoru could be coming out here.
Yep, and he might have a date with Boostio here. Keldon's in trouble. Oh, hit by the full. Unreal. Turns the Bucky around on him. At least able to make it a 1-for-1, but Sentinels have gotten into the A site now. And bang, perched on the rafters, brooding, waiting for that smoke to dissipate, to take his opportunity. SEN are in and amongst this A site.
Setting up for the retake, 100 Thieves. SEN want to get some space, but Bang punished hard for it. Man advantage for 100 Thieves. They just need to trade this down effectively.
Narrate's on the outside looking in. Cryo's able to cut him down with ease. Now it's John and Zelsis embedded around this Viper's pit. Stealth drone doesn't look like it claimed him. John's able to take Arsena down. It's Cryo stepping in, and it's up to Zelsis. Concussed briefly. That action from elbow is going to be a little bit too much, or is it? The Stinger claims 2, but Arsena puts it to bed. And now, we get ourselves an even game.
With that plant, Sentinels, they can keep the pressure up, though. They can keep buying, and there we see the benefits of that Sage. It was something Chris...
Slow war being held here by Cryo.
On this round, we are on the cusp of game-changing ultimates. Both Tejos just 1 orb away from Armageddon's. Boostio close to that Rolling Thunder as well, so you have to keep your attention paid to that.
Bottom ulti into mid with Gate Crash. Zekin wants a bit of this. Falls back, but John, what a catch. Arsena tried to back away in. to those salvos.
Those missiles are just so well placed. It's so cool. They're ready for Arsenal to be forced back, and he just goes into the second one down the rope. It's so smart. Okay, I mentioned this in the cast we did the other day, Mitch, but this agent has been officially in the game for like 10 days now, and everyone is running this dude. It's crazy. It just shows you how powerful he is on release, how valuable teams find him to be, and it's just this immediate synergy with the Breach, with the Astra that have been buffed late 2024. So good, man.
Instantly ubiquitous in the metagame. Now, though, we saw that Wall come up there in towards upper board. A lot of time for 100 Thieves. Sen doubled back, now still want to hit B. Final line's going to catch Xander. This is going to be ugly. He's got no choice, and that's John with a second guided salvo killed this round. That is one where that came from. Here comes the Armageddon. 100 Thieves have to hop step away from this one. What is going on? Raid with the catch, the aftershock.
10 seconds left.
That's not the Boostio. Guy is shell-shocked. What is going on?
Down he goes, and not just him, but all of the TAC FPS old heads. They too are shell-shocked at what we're seeing on screen.
Now listen, where I come from, that's the way through mail room. Sentinels are dotting the rise and crossing their T's, but it's about to get hot and heavy. Waiting on the other side is Arsenal with a stinger, and he tries to throw down, but bang, rips his head clean off.
There's that showstopper gone as well. Could have been pivotal. Off the field. EU smoked off.
He looked for a timing.
Yeah.
He might try and walk this. He's heard the footsteps now as they drop out of rafters. Bang, off the seat of Cryo over to bring him down. But there's EU eventually emerging on that top side. Narrate more like eulogize. That's a spray down on Xander through the nebula. And now Sen might just bounce away. There's still 26 seconds.
I mean, it's still 26 seconds. That's barely any amount of time, no matter where they go. If we go B, hold on, we're going to get Armageddon. They can't go back to A. There's not enough time. Are we going to get Rolling Thunder too? There's 14 seconds.
They've got to go
You have the Armageddon ready.
EU waiting on it. Doesn't make use of that Armageddon. Here comes the plant. There it is, Armageddon, but the spike goes down. That's crucial. John, though, can't get out. That's a freebie for EU, but it had to be done for Sen to get the plant.
In the meantime, look at this reposition from Zelsis. This is so heads up. He has to win this round.
Good aftershock there from Narrate, though. That's going to slow things down. Zelsis has time to wrap, and there goes Boostio. EU now has the rise in the back of his head. And the lights are well and truly on in Sen City. Mr. Butler.
Face didn't see a thing, and now you can see on the minimap this rotate back, and you see Arsenal's POV with that as well. They're getting to the proper site in time.
This drone, oh man, that's a lot of information. 3 people detected and suppressed. Sentinels here, they syncopate this a little bit. They stop in their tracks. Now, though, they look for that ramp control, Wyatt.
30 seconds left.
Trying to pivot just a bit. Boostio stunned up, but
You can
not
shrug
in
it
any
off.
real danger.
And there's the concussed grenade from Tejo being thrown out. Rolling Thunder now coming in from the attack side. This is where Sentinels want to start to close the grip around the neck of the Thieves. The Boostio drops down. He's been so hard to catch. He's able to find himself a 1-for-1. No plant quite yet. Bang! He knew something was coming there in that corner. And it's up to Xander to try and slow this up further. Sentinels here with seconds to go. Cryo's able to find Zells. Oh, the spike! They can't plant it. And Cryo laughing his way to the bank. Didn't catch anything.
Oh Lord, Boostio is lucky again. He's over to somebody's towards A. We've got 3 shotguns by the way.
He just walked at them. He just walked at them through all that Astra util. Xander came out with 1.
And my brother Asuna has the judge and Vents as well. This is ridiculous, man.
There's really not much happening through the middle part of the map. It's a very dispersed Sentinels lineup here, but they're inching towards B. Cryo might have to get busy again.
He's got a slow warp to at least cause some delay if they were trying to explode out of B main. Get some of his rotates there in time, maybe catch one off, but Sen, they're not going to hit the gas over at that side of the map just
They're
yet.
running the clock again. Really methodical here from Sentinels, but it was their undoing in the previous round. Nothing spotted there for EU.
And now it looks like there it is. I was waiting for Zekken to send out that gate crash. With him rotating towards A, you know that these 2 players here, Zelsis and Zekken, they want to make their presence known, maybe find a pick, and then Zekken is just going to regroup back with the other 2 in B main where they're intending on planting the spike.
And how does this influence Cryo's behavior if something happens towards ramps?
He already
Okay.
took that
30
teleport.
seconds
He's out of there. So Zelsis here is really just trying to sell a ruse. Timing sees Arsenal get into rope. Zelsis is not going to get any of that action. Arsenal will be close enough to reinforce from heaven.
The clock is so low. EU has his utility.
They're
This
on
is
B.
dangerous for the B players, man.
Cryo's ready for it. What a snap. Second's going to be brought down. Where's the plant going to happen? Not at all. Paint shells stop the rate in his tracks, and once more Sen do not have the time to play. Yeah, 3, I think.
Who's next?
Tied up game here. And here it is, dimensional drift once more from Zekin.
With the shotgun.
With the
yet
shotgun.
again.
Look out for Busio, though. Zekin might just opt to get onto A site here and play from elbow. Bucky in hand, a dream in his heart. Concussed grenade there, thrown over towards the direction that breach, but Bang's going to be there. Cryo, they're able to double down from upper. It's the rate getting there. But Zekin has to find a way to fight out of elbow with the Bucky. It's awkward, but he catches Busio. All right, they're one apiece. For now, out in the open is Zekin. With no spike, really no chance of salvaging this. Bam! That's 4 for Cryo, baby.
It's tough when the long-range weapon is just the classic.
His feet on the A side, get ready for this. Just a clone so far. No actual commitment for Sentinels, but they are lingering over towards ramps now, though. They're out of there.
Yeah, there were multiple players spotted by the stealth drone sent out there by EU, and that's caused the full rotate back through sewer. SEN are going to have to re-clear all the way up through mid, though. They don't have any information at the moment.
Cryo playing solo, so getting value out of that res is hard to do, but that wall still up for the time being.
The old reliable, the Valorant beta wall. Just throw it down right in the middle of split.
On this timing, Sentinels don't have to deal with it at all. Here's a slow orb. They might try and push this one. And yep, here comes Zelsis, and he gets it just desserts. Cryo going to take another 2K here. And there's a bit of assistance, of course, from that Teo util. Arsena very quickly gets onto the scene, and EU's going to be there to take the place of his predecessor. It's beautiful. Heads are rolling. And 100 Thieves. Okay, Arsena's hearing this. Boostio set up with a fault line here, so Arsena can play off it.
I'm interested to see if Busio reveals himself here. There's potential for an Armageddon to maybe push him out of that Beheaven area. Not going to be triggered just yet.
That's that Viper Lurk neutralized. That's going to free up an extra player for 100 Thieves on the A side of the map. Here goes the smoke. Okay, Slow Orb definitely going to get some work done. Cryo comes off second best in that exchange, but so far Sentinels are being contained. Here come the salvos. This is going to force some fancy footwork from 100 Thieves on this side, but still Sen have not committed. Still they wait. 40 seconds and counting. Armageddon from the attackers will mostly go unnoticed by Sen. John going to catch the end around. That is beautiful. Finally, they explode there out from Heaven's side. He's got a heck of a lot of work to do and can't really afford to wait for Arsena to get there. It'll have to be one. Arsena gets in and has to take the 1v2. Paint shells clear a little bit of space, but John and Zekin are going to swing together. Arsena, what are you doing? How does he find that?
Only Arsena is going to hit the mid-air dropping phantom headshot. There is no other player in this game that will ever pull that off. It is round, by the way, and 100 Thieves have immediately gone for this A fight. Austin's trying to carry the momentum in. He's getting a little silly. Still, Busio's there to trade.
Yeah, the second wave was there.
Oh my God,
Bang TPing in the screens here.
He's in the screens. I'm trying to catch my breath, man. Holy crap. I can't believe this.
Busio gets away with absolute murder there. Picks up the orb, Bang not able to catch him. And now he is known to all of 100 Thieves as an interloper. Fake TP still in screens as Cryo stays the bloodlust for the time being, and Xander just rips one on Zelsis. It's all falling apart for Sen. 2 players still to work with now. They've got that mid control at least. But on the wrap is Boostio.
And there are those missiles to force any 100 Thieves players back who would have been trying to fight from the stairs. Nair wants to take the duel. EU, oh my God, how does he not go down? 2 HP, and he finds it!
It's up to John QT, mastermind.
He can't be allowed to do that, man.
You know where the spike is, up there on rafters, so up we go. More rope shenanigans. Yeah, only works for Arsena, I'm afraid. Nicely done, down to 5 though, dangerous. Rolling Thunder expended here in the last round of the half, and that'll be it, 100 Thieves. Heading to halftime with a 4-round lead, and we, folks, are still reeling. How fast can they be ahead of this fault line? And they come flash. Okay, 100 Thieves calling a cancel. Arsena, though, can't quite get out. Looks like the guided salvo would have caught him either way.
A lovely little trap play where you have Zelsis over on the catwalk. He's taking that jiggle contact. Second he sees someone, both abilities used to net that kill.
Bang v Xander, the old versus the new, as far as 100 Thieves are concerned. Xander gets the tickle, but he's cool, calm, collected. Still wants that fight. Bang able just to get away from the fault line, but he knows the second wave is about to hit. 100 Thieves Send the guided salvos in. Zelsis down to 59 here. Speculating, spraying through the smoke. Gets one dropped on top of him and now down to 33. Needs to avoid this, but Xander is all over him like moss on a rock. And Sentinels have to work now from heaven. Cryo does get fault line, but they drop down past him. It's going to give him an opportunity to intervene. Zekin low, takes Cryo down, but Boostio will be there. Okay, that drone from Sentinels towards B is going to sort of signal the coast being clear, but the timing's good. 100 Thieves already descending on the A side. Some presence in heaven by Zelsis, but he can't test this Nebula. So Asuna, okay, he light lobbed it. That is going to force Zelsis right out of the way.
At this point, even hopes for doing damage from Sentinels certainly dwindling. Forced to push in here with the classics, exchange of util. Oh my god, shots are going awry.
Dirty flash, the Teo utility come back in Cryo's direction, but he's found a little nook to play from, and bam! That is dirty. It's all up to narrate here. And that one was short-lived. Cryo
Not have in 2023.
It was such a big part of their run, I think, into Shanghai.
Oh, this is so fast from Asuna. Off the stun, gets the first, but can't connect on the net.
Oh, it's going to be there. They're coming like waves. Narrate picked off here. And Bang is nowhere to go. We can't push out into big garage because that's been aftershocks. Oh, buddy, you are a spectator in this round of Sentinels. Might as well take an observing contract here. Where Sentinels have a pretty insane offseason, springboard into a great kickoff into Madrid.
For 100 Thieves.
It's like longer than the average university degree.
It really is. Bang are ready to teleport to get some space and be main, but Cryo is just too fast and he slips away. There was no assistance for Bang either. No one to trade off of him.
No uni for Bang, just a school of hard knocks, Wyatt. Now Sentinels pretty dispersed across the map here, but just losing that exchange. When they really force into this round, it bodes very ill for them. Narrate fancied hanging around, but he'll just look to stall here. His teammates, though, are seen.
The SEN players have really swarmed towards that B site. Double rotate, it's just Second trying to keep some amount of info towards A. Do they really want to re-clear this? If they do, it could be the round all said and done.
So many guns ready to swing on this. Zelsis tests the waters, and he gets devoured by Moby Dick. It's going to be John QT having to go huge here. Nice little double, makes the space for himself as well, but caught inside the salvos, stunned up. He was concussed, but he can buy this time. Narrate still wants to play off him here. Sentinels are adamant, doggedly trying to stay in this game, but that was a pot to end them all, and a res here for Boostio.
100 Thieves are reading these guys so well. Cutting noise, posting up for the full re-clear. It's just second. Oh my god, the flash is perfect.
Okay, there's something here. But we saw Sentinels bleed the clock a little too much on their attack side. Narsana knows at some point he needs to take some risks.
I don't think the drone actually spotted him. Okay, just heads up spam from Zek in that intuition.
Okay, slow walk here. Means no follow-up was possible, but fault line comes in and Cryo's going to have to shrug this off, but looks like they're headed towards ropes. Linking up now with Boostio in mid. We've got 42 seconds left to play, and now Xander has to get activated on the B side.
SEN are definitely feeling like this could be the B split. They've rotated 3 players over. They are ready for this. What a kill for Bang to find.
30 seconds left.
And I think that was spam through a smoke again.
We're at the point in the round now as well where even if 100 Thieves find some kills, they have to contend with so much util.
Oh, what? Okay, Arsenal able to find the right there, not sure, but okay. Bang now gonna get ready for this as he hears the satchel overhead, but Boostio claps him, and it's up to Zekin and John QT. John sat here, caught inside CT, how does he intervene? It's gonna be a catch at least on Boostio, but he still gets the plant. Zekin's dimensional drip will lay the setup bare for 100 Thieves. Cryo, though, looks like he might be ready for it. John wants to fight his way out of spawn, and that surely is not going to get you there. Up to John, the mastermind, now initiated to save the day for Sentinels. But Cryo is in a post plant, he's ready for it, and John is low. Just the regen shield won't get you there. And 100 Thieves issue a strong statement to Sen City.
Just can't find the kill.
Completely overwhelmed there. Zekin had the antidote to that position there from Arsenal, digging him out with the blast pack.
A position like that, playing in hookah in these corridors, in lamps as well, against the Teo, that's nightmare fuel. You are going to get hit by so much util, so much damage. I mean, the classic defensive play against a Brim when they have their ult on bind is don't play in lamps because you could just get fried by that. Well, that can kind of be the case every round with Teo to some extent.
Sky smokes being set up here for Sentinels now. It's about time. Standard smokes over towards the middle of that side, but EU emerges. What timing from EU? That is disgusting! Oh, buddy! Sentinels are not ready for that. Got the initiative here for 100 Thieves. Has left them by the wayside so many times. And that's 4 for EU on the pistol. You just gassed him up. Down to the 1 minute mark now, and those Prowlers have cleared through Shower. Arsenal definitely getting a little bit antsy. So they might go for a bit of a pop here, and yeah, they're pushing in. Arsenal though, where do you go? Just kind of pops himself up in the air. What? Unreal! He's done it again, Wyatt!
Arsenal is a 1 of 1. There is no player like him.
Okay. Gets himself above the util with the blast pack, comes down, gets a paint shield kill and 2 more. At this point, Sen are picking up the pieces. Zen are really conditioning that there's not a player holding the off angle.
Trust me, guys.
I'm throwing this snake bite because I don't want you to come up here. Ouch. Xander already had the ghost to work with there, if I'm not mistaken, and that's enough for Sen. They're going to pull out here. Maybe smell something a bit off.
Sick reaction time from Narrate. Super mechanically skilled player who debuted in Europe last year despite being from America, was a standout in challengers.
Cryo calmly steps back from the battleship's worth of ordnance being thrown at him, and here's Arsena. Still found a way to be relevant in this round, but the TP plunge for Boostio!
That's the spike! The spike is down!
He digs in with the ghost and is able to cut us down already 5 seconds in the round! Bang doesn't think he's still there, but he was waiting. Zekin though, oh, Zekin! Gets the shot down, but guess what, buddy?
Worth doing, obviously. Getting close to a couple ultimates, but nothing big on the table for either team. You know, aside from Austin and EU being 1 orb away from their own ults respectively, so that could pay off later in the round if one of them finds a kill.
I'm ready for a normal round. A gentleman's round.
Yeah, surely that will happen.
Cry here looking to refresh that one way, likely. Teo Ordnance comes in and he gets out. Again, another round where he just calmly avoids it, gives up the space. Molly here to interrupt a potential plan, and Zekin knows he needs to try and take a fight, wins it out, but Arsena's going to be there as a second line, and what a haunt ping! Arsena once more, and Zelsis is the deer in the headlights as the showstopper comes in.
The utility is just so oppressive right now. Arsena on the swing and gets the 4th. A little cheeky plan here before we get into the real plan with the big buy on the following round.
Might have to be a fast play into Lambs with the Bucky, I think. Yep, Zelsis just gets his head ripped off. Gets a free haircut, but the inverse Mohawk probably isn't what he wanted. Arsena has to watch out. Shotgun on the right side. John QT hits him with a big iron. And that's that Lambs control, and plant down for Sen. Zekin has earned a showstopper to boot.
That Prowler is going to come in really handy to try to re-clear lamps. And actually, EU's rotating over towards Heaven, wants to pick that angle up.
Here's that showstopper now, coming out of Lamps. Zekin threatening. Boostio here, letting Wingman go to work now. It's going to get that to half at least, but John steps up, brings him down. That's half. 3 players left to work with for 100 Thieves, and Cryo's well-laid plans fall apart, and Raid's able to shut Xander down with nothing but a classic. And I think even for EU, even for someone who's been dominant, this would be too much. Narrate eventually cuts his life short.
Elias brings some rifles over. The Thrash gets a lot of info, doesn't actually find anyone. Austin is too aware.
Evidently doesn't need information to get kills. Must be nice. Narrate here unsure about when or where Arsenal is about to emerge, but Zelsis elsewhere is able to bring Boostio down. That was a long shot from Octagon to the B site. Narrate, great patience.
Great molly as well, just to force Arsenal out into the open, into danger. I mean, Narrate's in danger right now. The Dizzy is so good, but he can't capitalize.
God, the guy is audacious. Wins it out by trading that Dizzy in. And Narrate has absolutely earned this plant for Sentinels. It has to be EU to buy this time for a moment at least to get Cryo in position to try and go for a 2v4.
Or do they want to just save the significance of losing that anti-eco on their economy?
They're having a crack to believe in themselves. What a day for it too. Prowler thrown out here, but EU will be flushed away from that position by John QT's salvo. Okay, 2 versus 2. Cryo, patient, takes a bunch of damage though from up and now needs EU to be the active player. Cryo sneaks in, but Zekin so hard to shift from that spot. Just little peaks, a little bit of damage in Zekin. Again, seeing a lot of this util come his way, and yet the stack for 100 Thieves is over towards the B side of the map. EU with the rifle, can he have impact? That one clatters uselessly to the ground.
Yeah, Zekin has that ultra-fast swing from the stim beacon. EU is just not quick enough with the reactions to shut him down, and at this point, SEN can really stabilize this game. Asuna, though, just catches Zekin unaware, pressing too far forward alone, getting a little greedy.
Yep, Bang's tucked here, Cryo goes low, but they do at least have this orbital to work with. Cryo wants to smoke here, shut down that spot that Narrate has been holding in these close plants consistently, and there's Boostio, run straight into it. Bang set up on the side, but now at risk of being sprayed down, he finds 3! That'll keep the head above water. And now again, patience can reign for Sentinels as Asuna should have nothing much to say about this round. A kill, a third, in fact, will be all she wrote.
Asuna trying to save this rifle, but not going to happen. Zealous is all the while bang towards him, running forward. Asuna with the showstopper again, 2 for 2.
Gets himself second and now sent. Packing over towards his A side of Sentinels. Going to be clearing the way out of showers. 100 Thieves do have that stalled utility. They've got to hold this position though, and Bang could unravel it. They're fighting for it. Zelsus knows he can't afford to have mollies thrown at the side as they're getting a plant down. But Cryo, unshiftable here from Lamps. Eventually Zelsus deals with him the good old-fashioned way. Dizzy neutralized as is Boostio. And now we get a 2v1. Still no plant. Xander's shoulder pick reveals Zelsus. He has to take the shot, and with 12 seconds left, it is a tough ask to stick a plant. 2 fakes. Xander not drawn out of position. That guy is far too canny for it. And in the dying seconds, he gets off it. Zelsus now set for 4 for a clutch. A staging ground to be built for Zekin.
Xander with the judge. He does like to play this angle with the judge pretty frequently.
Good for one, usually. Not this time, though. His narrator's been so solid.
He is really stepping it up. A lot of people surprised he wasn't on an America's team.
SEN are really stretching this out. Another trap play, though, was just thwarted.
Oh, Bang, here's the rotate from Cryo right now. He does have a tiny... Catches a free one onto Asuna. Lovely from Bang, and they can pivot back with the TP.
Cryo knows now he needs to double back himself, but he has no site control. Util coverage at Heaven and through Vent, so there's no way the 100 Thieves are flooding onto the site here. They're going to have to let this happen. The time. SEN might get interrupted here on the way through. Narrate over towards the site here. Time still of the essence now, and that orbital comes down, but the spike was still deployed. It's second falling though. 100 Thieves have to go for it. But what are they working with? A butt kick for Boostio, and he tears Bang to shreds. Now though, the real work begins for 100 Thieves. John sat up at triple. EU giving him a little bit, but not committing. Boostio able to upgrade to a rifle, but shows himself. But John, it's methodical! Surgical! So 100 Thieves here relegated to a very poor buy in round 10.
2 players from 100 Thieves. Just trying to be stuck in who can hold that down while they stack one more extra on A. Straight up execute. Cryo goes down.
Cryo loves to play inside those smokes and come out on weird timings. Banger shut that weapon down for 100 Thieves here. Showstopper available for Zekin. Asuna. Doesn't have it quite available, but Narrate just got his brain splattered over the wall. Ugly, Asuna, cute, but
Again, man.
Doesn't work 2 times.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And Zen here just says, okay, can I make something happen of this? There's really very little to work with. 100 Thieves pooling their resources. And he's going to sit on top of that molly. We are an even game, folks. Once more. Here we go. It's time for Zekin. It's kind of body block there. Awkward, but John's going to be able to dig Asuna out. Zekin doesn't fully commit, though. Just pops up, playing on top of the stim beacon. And yeah, send that rocket away. Still SEN know they need to walk up on this site, and Zekin is going to be at the 4. All that util getting thrown down, covering the site, meaning Sentinels are in there.
The question is, do 100 Thieves try to flood right now off the top?
Yep, 3 players sat inside elbow. Zelsus has a sense about it. He's also got an orbital strike. That could be devastating here for 100 Thieves who are grouped for this. Okay, in goes Wingman. Zekin clears him. Now 100 Thieves are inching up in elbow, getting closer, but still no flood. Cryo going to be held at bay. This might slow things down even further. There's the horn. Here's the play. Zekin sees him as the smoke comes down. It's Boostio picked off, and then he backs away. It's a second for John now, as Narrate wants to get his hands dirty. He gets involved. Xander found 2, but that's all he could ask for. And EU really doesn't have a hope in hell. That's a clean round from SEN. And they'll have his gun too. Sentinels players stacked up on short, still waiting to pull the trigger. Now, in comes Zekin off the satchel, but Arsenal shuts him down instantly. It's John, though, again, always good for one at least. Responds in kind. And now to send Walker. No fanfare, no pomp and circumstance. Spike gets put down.
Difficulties here could be with trying to get Busio in position to make something happen with his Bucky. You need to get him in lamp supporting Cryo, but he feels like he just has to give that up.
Just to push Busio out of the way there. He tries to dive in. This is awkward. They're stacked up. Narrate's going to bring Busio down, and Cryo was so low. That was awkward for 100 Thieves. Couldn't get their ducks in a row. Or rather, their players were too much in a row, it seems. Narrate there just lazily flicks Xander out of existence. It'll make it 3. Easy pickings here for Sentinels. That's a setting up here. Unclear where he'd be sending these salvos, but it will give the hot foot to 100 Thieves.
You can't ask for much more from this defensive setup if you're a Sen fan, and 100 Thieves Execute comes in. They're ready with the util and 4 players to shut this down.
They have it stacked. Celsius with the timing catches Arsenal, but he's going to be there. Oh no, he's walked into the trap and still found one despite being flashed. Still, +1 for 100 Thieves in terms of the player trade, and John QT again evens the score.
He needed that one. Such a high impact kill from the IGL.
100 Thieves, they are committed here to playing from hookah for now. Arsenal drops, John QT caught with util in his hand, but Zekin had his back. A crossfire plays out beautifully for Sen, and now it's up to Cryo. Took a hit from those paint shells, and Zekin says, all right. Narrate clearing that horn early here through showers. And Arsenal is going to be the man with that first contact. Celsius, though, already getting busy. Busio out of the round. Narrate allows himself to back away with Wingman just making that space.
Sentinels can just take their sweet time from here on out. They've already garnered an advantage on top of the inherent advantage they have coming into the round.
Yeah, so there will no need to hurry here at all. 100 Thieves don't really seem to have a clear plan outside of making use of Arsenal in showers. But Narrate's already picked up that line as he fell back onto the A site. Second in the smoke, footsteps, pitter-patter onto the side as Narrate steps up. And Arsenal sits down.
Xander routed from the missiles. Just a slow end to 100 Thieves in this round. Seems like is what we're going to be in store for.
Yeah, this is like a paper cut exsanguination. Like, it's that slow. 100 Thieves are just lurching to a stop here.
Rotating to be long.
Yep,
you got 20 seconds.
They're walking the holes. They've got a clipboard, so they look like they're doing something, right? But in reality, it's about looking busy. Tap the clipboard
Guys,
with the pen.
You don't want to save these classics. Let's get in there.
Make good the atmosphere. Thank you.
Man, there is some intensity in Busio's voice right now on stage.
You hear a pin drop in here otherwise. 40 seconds left. Talk about the suspense.
I mean, this entire time, EU has worked himself close up into shower on A. 100 Thieves are still very spread around the map. Austin is trying to create some distraction on B, draw, rotate, and teleport.
It's giving 2023 Thieves, though, I'll be honest. There doesn't seem to be a clear plan. They're going to have to go for it now. TP play, it's going to be convergence over on A for 100 Thieves. Celsius was dizzied up, and okay, we're going to move on. Zekin finding 2 kills, maybe just not the 2 we wanted. And it will be a plant. Wingman gets it done despite the Teho util looking to shut it down. And it will be Sentinels with the weaker weapons now, struggling to hold their ground as slowly, and I mean slowly, 100 Thieves have kicked them off the map.
And that after collecting that orb, and Cryo ready for the push.
It locks, it's perfect. Zekin blasted. Celsius goes out in the same fashion. Cryo now starting to build up the frag total.
Celsius hoping that a delay in the swing would cause Cryo to maybe fall off the angle or adjust in some way that would leave him vulnerable. But he was trained in on the crosshair. Sentinels are in real trouble. They don't have cash behind this. Go into the next. Xander, the reaction's sick.
Narrate has been winning every one of those so far. This map, it feels. He's so annoying. Here's an attempt to delay the spike bar, but Arsenal descends upon John QT. And this is 100 Thieves now really draining the bank accounts of Sen, who are trying to stay competitive in these rounds. There it is, what a clean one. Flawless round for 100 Thieves as they start.
Lock, they've been pressing Arsenal close up into long.
Octagon control here, so Bang can't sneak around that corner. Looks like he'd like to work his way back in, but That's been denied so far.
He's just taking so much damage, he has to fall back. While this is all going on, Zekken is now getting into shower. Senna realizing we need to get we need to get control of something somewhere.
Yeah, we need to narrow things down a little bit.
They've rotated an additional player to be.
Ooh, the wall comes down and Asuna is there. That is a brutal one to come back from. Narrate, the only player Ravi here having to play out from the smoke. The timing though was good. The flash play, it was nice. But he couldn't quite connect, and Cryo again gets rid of that repeat offender.
Oh, respect the effort. That could have been a highlight reel moment from Narrate. A necessary save. Headed towards an explosive ultimate round. Both sides getting towards virtually anyone to actually fight. The wall is cycled back from Xander. The Dizzy's broken. Or Wingman, rather. Cryo jumps in.
Here's Asuna up on top of the truck, but Zelsis is ready for that play, and Narrate's trying to back out of halls here. Zelsis locks it down, but Boostio tears him to shreds. What a time to get in there.
100 Thieves are really outplaying them on the macro. Sen were fully baited into the site and then just get a wave of util dropped on them as 100 Thieves reaggress back in as a unit through shower and short. Shower, which has been essentially fully uncontested. The spawn barrier might as well be over at the A site door.
Boostio best keep his head down. Credit to him. I would have swung that on back. He's low. Would have gone for it. Clean end of the round. Now we have an even game for 100 Thieves. Here's the Thrash now. Saw this on the Sen side as well, just to try and clear out a little bit, but that is a nasty little Dizzy coming in, and Zekken wants to catch them here on slope. Beautifully done, and even a late swing back in by your boy Boostio is not going to salvage this one for the Thieves.
Throwing something different into the fold. Hitting 100 Thieves with that early teleporter. Crunch taking advantage of Zekken's showstopper to be able to satchel out of there, make it a difficult target. 100 Thieves are going to patiently wait this one out, save the rifles of their own, and this man has been on a solo mission on 100 Thieves to control that side of the map, and he always gets away with it.
I got you.
Does that confirmation keep 3 Sen players at B? It looks like yes. Asuna. Getting out alive would be great, getting a kill even better. He's not going through that TP though, and yeah, eventually he's going to be brought down. This now should confirm it was just the Rays trying to sell a bit of a fake.
That was really good from Bang in there in understanding they could find a moment to punish him right there on his lonesome wingman. Is he going to get that in time? No.
Nicely done. Molly to follow it up here. So no wingman plant as time is ticking down. That Molly's about to clear. It lasts annoyingly long though. Drone's cleared, now the orbital strike. What's the plan here, 100 Thieves? How are you going to fight through this? Xander doesn't want to push up too much. Now it's up to Bang and John QT to keep this one stalled out. EU, though, playing on the other side of the spike, and Boostio's going to get it down. We're going to see Heaven picked up by John.
Not a lot of util going into this either. Not sure when the cycle is going to come back. Actually, EU does have the haunt now. John is trying to make his way through Heaven. Might be able to take an engagement against Boostio.
The timing here could be huge. Oh, EU can't eat this one. Hoping for a bit of John action, but he just gets caught out by that util. Teo so powerful. So it falls to the, well, notorious leader. Will Boostio get himself out of his chair here? Nope, sat back down. Sentinels will increase the lead to 2.
Patience, waiting for the utility cycle there was excellent.
Here come the smokes. This is the real deal from 100 Thieves now. They've got to go for it. Asuna, blast packs in. Nothing to see on the site right now, and no shower control yet here for 100 Thieves. Tiltus emerges into the line of fire. Brought down, but Zekken at least is able to trade it out now. Narrate gets Thrash in there, and he finds a connection, but Cryo's able to get into the smoke. Armageddon for the defenders coming through. Nobody hit by it, but Boostio's caught out in the open, and Xander at least making it a 1-for-1, and he gets onto the scene. Viper's bid to give him access here to the A site proper in this post plant, and to make it hard for a proper defuse to go down. Zekken wants to inch up. EU might get busy, and that's 3 here for Zekken. Are we getting out of our seat? Getting it to half. Xander inside the Viper's pit gets caught out, and that pit's going to come down. Cryo has to be the savior, but Zekken. In 100 Thieves versus Sentinels matchup, it wouldn't have had it any other way. Narrate dirty with the op. Picks off Asuna down B long.
That is such a cheeky play. They have the orb just off to the side to allow him to pick up that sight line as well. So cool.
And of course, as always, the one way to contend with on the A side. Xander's not going anywhere in a hurry. Narrate misses the shot, takes a tag for it. And now 100 Thieves try and dig him out of the corner. What a combo, great util. Z's came in as did the mosh pit. Narrate is down. That's the operator player removed.
Ooh, that jump was a little wide there from Zelsis.
They're pretty audacious with a shoulder pick, and Xander might look to capitalize here. Pretty far forward, and he found a timing. Now back through the TP, all eyes over to B.
Toxin screen down.
Comes that AO utility just to delay.
Still a chance to get through. John now as well with a special delivery. That's beautiful. Boostio brought down. Wingman won't be allowed to plant. John going to find yet another one. On the other side is Xander, though. He's got the wrong weapon for the job, but he's now at ideal range, and Second comes to the rescue. Sentinels fire back. A win on 100 Thieves map pick. We're going to Pearl.
100 Thieves never made that easy.
And if they can.
And if they do attempt to, they are going to run into so many defending players.
Zelsis is looking scary right now. In a really potent backstab position, but now 100 Thieves, they move out to the site. Everyone on SEN grouping up back behind Flower. Busio gets blasted by them instantly. That smoke dissipates, but look at the Hort. Big catch up that, and Cryo was ready for them. Release ready for the first. Here you see Arsena stepping out in front of him here, both also lit by that util, but here comes Arsena. 2 versus 2 now. Narrate opens the account. It's going to be up to EU here. He sneaks away.
Zelsis is trying to rotate all the way around to help Narrate. Double up here, trade it out and win.
EU has to have heard this. He has to have heard the footsteps. Zelsis is making them on purpose, likely to try and get a 2v1 swing, but where could EU come from? Timing is everything. He's spotted out by Narrate, though, and he's going to stick it! Almost by a restaurant. Okay. Straight into the crosshairs comes Boostio.
Haven't seen a whole lot of the Outlaw actually today. But Zekin's going to bring it out to get an easy first kill. And right now on the minimap, we're seeing what's going to be a pretty constant standard setup that we have with the Vice, with that shear being placed towards B, Arcrow's Razorvine there as well, and then a cross-map lineup, which allows you to send that extra Razorvine, the second one, over to the A site to help your anchors there. Strong on Pearl.
Narrate's not getting a whole lot off this util here. He's not forcing any out of 100 Thieves either. They are slowly taking that space. That Outlaw miss means that Zekin has to leave. Now a main presence here for 100 Thieves. They've moved out from Connector. Razorvine won't do a whole lot. They're going to wait it out.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds. Here's EU trying to swing that corner, but John QT was ready for him. And 100 Thieves now fully committing to the site. And that delay that the Razorvine bought them has allowed Sentinels to really coalesce at the back of the site. John swinging out with a rock click. That's gross.
They have to play around it.
Bit of a push up here over towards the outside, but Sentinel's already gone down towards Connector. Sen might commit for this. I know it's a bit of a bonus. Can they make the most of it and get some guns?
Spike down mid.
Narrate takes his. Pulls on out.
I can't be mad at Sentinels for attempting to go for some sort of aggressive play early on. Zekin taking that peek. It was some good util coming out of Art, but ultimately 100 Thieves, too many bodies in mid to really contend with.
We might have another crack at this through mid-con. Can they flash themselves out of this smoke? No! Cryo does not give any. B-Link, Zelsa sitting right on back behind that Nebula. So 100 Thieves will be allowed into the middle of the map here and likely head towards it. B side.
And the Prowler going all the way into Connector has Neri relegated to a very passive position on the top of the map. Sen playing this very safe now.
Okay, 100 Thieves just pushing on in. Zelsis has got a good little angle, but the crosshair placement is broken by the dash across. Oh, this is looking much better for 100 Thieves. A burst of speed now as Zekin sees it all, but can't do much about it. 5 health and a dream. It's an uncomfortable spot to be in, and he always has a sense that he'd emerge close by. Zekin has to flash himself out of that corner in theory. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for Sen City. Lucio will be able to dodge most of this util. There's no way for Sentinels to capitalize.
That was a haphazard swing from Bang, resulting in his death. On the re-swing, trying to play off of the dimensional drift that Zekin was forced to use.
0 point confirms no one's playing close. Oh, that's nasty. They saw raw entry from Cryo.
Just a great adjustment with the movement, the little crouch there.
John QT's asking for a lot on this B-long position. Look at him.
He's
Forced his way.
He's allowed the rest of the team to rotate over towards A, giving them a chance. But at that, John is one of the 2 players with a rifle. It's a big ask for Bang to step up right now.
But also there's a shear set up in mid-connector, so Sen would know if it was a B play for 100 Thieves through mid. Got confirmation, this is where they're going to land. Good seize, but no one to play off with it here. 0 point comes on in. Now, this is it. The Null Commander set them up, and instantly around the corner, Zels is waiting. Oh my God! What a thrifty!
Next round, by the way, and Zekin has an off. He's pushed all the way up, and he finds the instant pick onto EU. Falls back behind the Nebula to safety.
Never tell me this game isn't about momentum, Wyatt.
Never mind, it doesn't look like he wants to be particularly safe. Wants to hold close. Gate crash to escape after the shot rattles off.
100 Thieves looking rabid after that round got stolen from them. This indignation causes them to put every resource onto the B side of the map. And that's a gate crash out here, a slightly weaker position now picked up for Zekin with the operator.
Spike is going to be planted. You have Bang on a long flank right now, and he has a Cosmic Divide. Could allow the rest of his team to get back into the site more easily. Boostio wants to play ahead of that. He wants to get aggro.
Yeah, it's going to be watched for, though. Yep, John QD had that angle. On pass over to him, and Cryo's good for 2, but will that be enough? In the post part, Arsenal is out here on the site.
He is unbelievable, man. It's like watching a robot play the game.
Cosmic Divide isn't going to cut any Thieves players off the site here. Arsenal wants to fight ahead of it. The spray is wild. It's haphazard, and it's punished by SEN.
You know, Neri just holding this passively. Prowler's not going to get the info, but the site, yeah, here comes the execute. It's going to come through on today.
Fast hit inside the 0 point is Cryo. Playing from, that's dirty. Bang just steps up. He knows the Jet is going to try and play inside the Cloudburst. It's an easy pickup in the end.
Yeah, and that's the star player dead as well. The majority of the frags on 100 Thieves are from that one man.
And who's going to step up in his absence? Right now, EU looks to back up. Knows that there could be a player up in dugout. One close by secret too. Okay. Sometimes timing doesn't favor you. Just some spray here for Arsenal. A couple players off the site for 100 Thieves as well. Post-plant positions. And Arsenal wants to let them walk on up. The right knows he needs to get ahead of this and wins that fight out. Absurd consistency. And Xander's on the backstab. What an opportunity. The trigger discipline is good. That'll do it. John gets it to half here. Xander knows he might have to do more from this position because the A-main players can't get there. John brought down and the defuse. Gets stuck!
Oh no, Xander was in the perfect position.
What
He
more can
stopped
he do?
playing. And off the plant, keeping their money just well enough to be in the game. Oh my God, the prediction from Xander.
And the change of pace. This time, 100 Thieves actually fighting for B long. Getting rid of Zekin of all people.
They've inserted Cryo fairly deep in mid as well, just to pick up an angle for some sort of art regress, which, funny enough, is going to come after he leaves the angle.
We've had a
Worried
couple
about Link now.
Couple odd timing moments in the last round as well. EU's going to find himself overwhelmed pretty quickly now. C's thrown out. Bang caught inside of it. Here comes the reflash back in, and Boostio's going to be there in that back pivot position. It's good enough for now. It's going to be 3 players from 100 Thieves on their way to B, leaving Zelsus with it all to do.
Excellent bait and switch. EU there in mid. Just swinging off the presence. That swing that came in from Art, counter-swinging that, fighting towards door, Cryo pressed up.
He's going to be ready with the rest of his team over at A. Sees, he's going to be a follow-up. Yep, that util comes in all just in time. Arsenal's able to get out, Boostio's able to walk away as well. The lockdown, though, did get cleared, as you'd expect with all that sort of molly util coming in. And that's a Nightfall thrown out. Bang, deafened. Sat in this corner. And the Steel Garden also can be committed to the fight now. A little bit awkward here for 100 Thieves. Arsenal with nothing but a classic sat behind that Cosmic Divide. A lot going on here, but Cryo has the shorty and needs to convert, but the guns are back in the hands of 100 Thieves now, and they're putting them to work. It's just Bang and Zekin. They've done well. But a Cosmic Divide is a problem. Cryo is not moving. He's healthy enough, and he knows the Thieves have got themselves a hard-fought round.
That Cosmic Divide was a real problem. It was the game-changing ultimate.
Line, though, by the Prowler, and gives the op over to Zekin. What's happening at A?
Now he's got the rifle. What's happening is that all of Sentinels want to go on a little exploration together.
See the anti-eco protocols for 100 Thieves in full effect. They barely ventured out into the map.
EU is trying to go through Art at the moment. The lone 100 Thieves player on this A side of the map. It could be in trouble. A strange situation, man. This is bizarre.
Eventually he's going to switch. Surely a shoulder pick would have been enough, but he fully commits and Zekin punishes. Sheer comes up though. Arsenal can't quite get to the side. It's going to have to wait 6 or 7 seconds, but the worst part is he's the one with the spike, so this will delay the spike part considerably.
This could be some genuine trouble for 100 Thieves. They've recovered, they being SEN, have recovered a second rifle now, and they got the orb in main for Bang. He just got his Cosmic Divide. They've got a real shot at a legitimate retake at this point on their eco round.
2 rifles and an op. Cosmic Divide, you can flood here into B. Kato part the site. And here it is. The divide set up for Bang. Makes it awkward here for 100 Thieves. Once again, Cryo respects the prescribed Teo util into Halls, and Asuna playing around a one-way. He's ready for it, gets the drop on the raid, finds Bang. It's wild aim, but it claims 2 kills nonetheless, and with Boostio dealing with Celsius, the win condition here for SEN is getting further and further away. Zekin was hoping for an exit. Cryo doesn't give it to him. He's past the wall. The 100 Thieves have managed to even up the game.
Zekin able to survive with that off shot, saves teammate.
This B site.
A completely vacant site that is going to have to be re-cleared by Zekin's dimensional drift.
And here it is, about to pop that. He's got a shorty in hand, so can go to work after he pops out. Gate crash to give him an option for safety, and in we go. Spots out Cryo and Halls. The rest of SEN now starting to get moving here, but they're going to be suppressed for a time. 0 point going to be thrown out. Cryo's going to swing out to try and take the fight. Celsius in Halls. Zekin might just join up with him and give him a staging ground. And that's Cryo going down. 3 up for the Thieves.
In the meantime, you actually have a re-wrap from Xander. He's trying to go to Link to help Boostio, but he might be too late.
They're always there. They're trying to deal with him. They're going to be at a multi-swing on towards EU. He sees the clone, but he looks the wrong way, and now it's up to Xander. Can he stop this? 1 headshot, 2, and a defuse for the raid is interrupted. Xander has a...
That is what we've been waiting to see from Xander, who has been tearing apart the challenger scene for 2 years.
Just proved to himself he could do it. Ugly for Cryo. There, Zekin just staves him off. The rest of 100 Thieves milling around B here.
And they want to fight for the site this time. They don't want to give it up.
Okay, they've evened it up. Here, Zekin had no way to get out. Zelsis! That was ham-fisted. Ends up being a traitor, making it a 3 versus 3. Still, no plant. Narrate's in a bit of an annoying spot.
Yeah, especially given his low HP, trying to get out of that choke point. Link is so tough.
They're worried about a wrap here from Plaza as well, but 100 Thieves are fully committed. Perhaps it's because EU hasn't shown yet.
Xander recalling that smoke. They're open to a lot of angles. It is dangerous. He's trying to plant behind the cub. He's trying to slip out, but Bang catches him.
Clean. So clean. EU has to pick up that position now, looking up towards tower. Patience is going to pay dividends here for the Thieves. So many angles to watch if you're EU right now. Boostio can't do too much to set up a crossfire. As expected, here's the util. Concuss used, EU gets involved. Sitting inside the smoke, he's going to be cleared. It's going to be up to Boosty Boy now to salvage this. Just a tap from Narrate. Wraps around, John catches him out. And you better believe we've got another tied game heading into another halftime.
This is something they like to do on behind, in fact. They love these 4-man pushes.
Okay, looking a bit messy for Cryo with the Ghost. Nice little opening here. Xander going to be brought down, but EU's always down for a bit of argy-bargy. Cryo doesn't expect Bang to take the really wide angle. So Boostio now has to leave his palace of util and head over to B.
Both players a little bit weak at the moment. This is more than doable for Boostio. John going to come through just to ensure that he's not going to come through just to ensure that he's not somewhere dug in on this side. Not going to be the case. He is that lone A rotate.
And that's going to be one of the stories emerging from this game. No matter the result, John QT switch over towards Initiator, still having massive impact on these games.
Massive question mark coming in from the offseason, this role swap.
Bang shoulder peeks for that. Of course, it was just a tap from Boostio. Knows Bang is playing close, but he's gained a lot of ground on him without giving away his position. Bang does not know that Boostio is on the hunt. Has to have spotted him there, but the right click's going to account for him anyway. John respectfully backs up. He's a tough to win, but John is one shot to Boostio.
He has the guidance salvo for further delay. This is going to be next to impossible for Boostio to pull off.
That's pretty good, but Boostio's around the corner. John has to full commit here. Gets it to half, a little bit further. John looking for the shot, looking for the shot. It wasn't there. Boostio from under his nose with the defuse.
An outlaw, and it's the heavy armor, and well, damage from it, and then some additional coming in from Narrate. Does net that first kill, and that's an advantage.
That hurts for Cryo. Yeah, that Haunt just got in his way, he had to clear it. It's a classy little flick of aim correction, but he ends up being brought down.
Here comes the pivot from SEN, getting back towards B main. Narrate able to cross safely as well. Boostio on that line for a moment. Zekin's still low HP, still with the Outlaw.
The Hunter Thieves shifted into a pretty aggressive stance up towards mid door.
30 seconds left.
So they're going to be pretty close to the action here on the site and maybe poised to play off some of the defensive util, or at least get into the side behind it. Okay.
This is a good reposition from Arsenal, setting up this crossfire.
Okay, shoots the clone first time, but here it is. The Stingers are getting involved. The weaker guns for Sentinels. Now for Hunter Thieves. Both teams on odd buys.
And at least now for Sentinels, having the spike down, they can play closer up with the Stinger in a location like Halls. You see Zekin is over there, ready to take a fight.
They're going to go for it here. Positioned up in tower now. Busio again smoked off the sheer wall in his way. He's not been able to get any value right now with the Outlaw. They've got to clear Halls. That's their first portal call, that right side, but it's going to be Zekin falling instantly. And again, just peering in from Connector right now is Narrate. It's a tap. He doesn't think it's a full stick. He actually gets off before half. Maybe he had no choice. There it is, the wraparound. Arsenal is able to find Narrate sitting there inside Connector. It's up to Bang and John Q to lock it down. Time is getting short.
They haven't even gotten it to half.
The swing out. They've not been able to stick it whatsoever, and time has run out for the Thieves. They'll clear off the Sentinels.
Get their economy into a reasonable place.
That horde was massive, Wyatt. It sees all of Hunter Thieves pushing up in art. They've got to back away, but they actually can't fully escape. Zekin knows Sanders there, and it's the easiest frag of his life. And a second through the smoke. Now he's just putting on a show.
I mean, they're using the Armageddon as well. Just to get Zekin in. He's got his dimensional drift for later. All right, we're starting to feel some momentum building. The excitement is there.
The weaponry was good, but Sentinel.
The only time. Quick dimensional drip being sent down mid by the aforementioned duelist, spotting everything out that he can. Coming for his team, that art is clear, backside is clear. Does spot one and dug out, that's bad.
Okay. Clone out,
Xander.
Solid as a rock. Unfortunately, going to walk into the spray, though, of Bang. Sentinels now set up on that A side. Zelsis ready to catch any pushes through Connect with Narrate. God, it's a rat! He's always there! Cryo's able to find the op shot. Narrate very, very low, though. Still happy enough with the post-plant setup, and 100 Thieves are still getting in position. Oh, man. At 30 health, by the way. He's able to pick that up. Null command here, popped by Arsenal. Going to be brought down, but damage definitely done. It's Zelsis and EU. Now to the dead zone. Zelsis shuts it down. Sentinels nose out in front.
Beautiful jiggle peek from Zelsis. It's not going to be procced. It's just a slow approach to B from Sen.
Hunter Thieves definitely getting dragged onto this side of the map. Whilst Narrate starts to scale up his presence in A main.
100 Thieves, they are gambling correctly, though. They do have 4 players on the proper side of the map. Unless Narrate can draw them away. And oh no, he's actually not going to.
Still garden here, but oh, okay. That is going to slow things down. Nice nano swarm. Here they come, though. Busio taking pot shots. Zekin and Zelsis both go really quite low there. Zelsis able to back around the corner. He and John finding their key frags.
There are only 10 seconds right now to plant.
Is there any chance of Narrate? Oh, Narrate! Oh, the backstab is perfect! I think there was a chance for Zeta to interrupt with some of the Astro util, but that got shut down!
They're investing in him.
This will be the round to do it as well. 100 Thieves with the buy, and there's Cryo. Makes his mark early. Gets away from the Prowler now. This is interesting. Nightfall thrown out behind him.
Yeah, caught by that. Counter Nightfall actually comes through.
Stealth drone going to be thrown out here. Sentinels no further than they began after that exchange of ultimates. And Cryo's been able to fall back to safety.
Heavy investment, and not a whole lot has really changed.
Pretty telling 0 point there as it was the Astra spotted out.
Cryo's just holding that line from Secret towards a main. But Bang is going to cut it off with the Cosmic Divide. They want to get a free plant here if they can.
I mean, it's awkward for Cryo, that's for sure. Arsenal here hoping to delay with a molly. Xander steps up. Will he just plunge through? Times. Best bet is to... Oh my goodness, what a horn. Oh, he's playing off that one at perfection. Perfect little 2K, but the spike is still down. 100 Thieves still with some work to do when Cryo was holding the line. He's going to be brought down by Zelsis, and Narrate steps up to the site. Another 0 point. There's Narrate. Constantly good for one. Prowler might force him off to the side here, but 100 Thieves still need to get this defused. It's up to Zelsis. The Vibes Merchant himself has to salvage. And Boosty Boy gets his... The turret did spot all of this action out, so 100 Thieves are poised to receive this, but are they going to be ready for these kind of numbers? Flash from second. Are we committing on this? Armageddon thrown at Halls here, and yeah, Sentinels want to get in there. Arsena just loses his nerve, it seems. Sprayed down through that smoke, and Boostio is going to be set upon on all sides. A second would have been great, but he's going to have to be happy with the one. Here come the reinforcements. EU from tower, Cryo inching forward. Awkward. Obviously with that up, having to retake. Just a shoulder would be enough here, but another Nebula is thrown in his face and forces him back again. Bang with the architecture, again to stall this out further. He's caught in the grab well. Just gets away.
I mean, this is just hopeless for 100 Thieves. Couldn't ask for worse weaponry to try and actually make that retake happen. You have a Judge and an AWP. Yeah, you just have to count your losses and get out of there. Carry the AWP over into the next round. Straightforward from Sen. Just trying to...
And here we are, round 21. 100 Thieves mostly able to buy. With that util distributed over that A side of the map, it is going to be Cray with the AWP. He's going to see a heck of a lot. Oh, he sees everything. Awkward. He's having to dash towards the side, but now that util's going to come, he's got nowhere to go. He's been shut down. He's taking damage, and John finishes him off. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. We're on Sen's wild ride. One by one, the Thieves fall. Caught outside of the site. Cosmic Divide thrown in here by 100 Thieves, but no great way to make use of it with only 2 players left. And Sentinels strut back up B long to set up for the post plant.
Do Boostio and EU commit to this? Do they try to fight? Or do they save and try to play for OT? It's a 2v4, but second teleports behind. You've got to be joking. And he wants to take the fight. Information down link. The rest of the squad headed down B.
He's got to be feeling himself. A grind of a game here for Sentinels, but they're so close. Second emerges in Halls, and there's Arsena slapped down instantly. Razorvine thrown down, but Second is able to play around it beautifully. Flash on Boosty, pushes with the shorty, almost gets him, and just pulls up short. Eventually, though, bang is the second line, the second wave that washes over the Thieves. And they're down to Xander. And a low health Cryo who swings into the line. And it all falls to Xander, the newcomer, the hot prospect, out of challenges, the patient. And he goes for the spray. The flag flies high in Sen City tonight.
It felt like this was 100 Thieves game locked up. They were phenomenal on split. They kept the momentum into that first half of Bind. It was the IGL John Cutie winning an eco round there where some level of momentum started to come their way. It was slow, but they kept fighting and clawing for round after round.